It's that time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Kia ora team, and welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. So as many of y'all may know, New Zealand's doing pretty well with dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic, and there are a few other countries like Australia, Singapore, that are all pretty close, that are doing very similar numbers. Here in New Zealand we have 27 remaining COVID-19 cases that are active. We've had one new case in the last week, and that's also associated with a rest home cluster. So we are winning, we've almost won, and maybe our borders could be opened to countries that are along the similar lines, like the countries I've just mentioned. So boxing events, proper ones with crowds, could be in the near future. This is good news. So our local boy down here, Joseph Parker, is looking for a fight, and if those borders are open to Australia, there are a couple of options there, and they're being spoken about. But I have some questions for Joe, so let's start with, how you doing, Joe?
Thanks for having me. Life is good. We're just coming out of the lockdown, so now I'm able to leave the house and go to the gym and see my friends and see my family. So everything is good. Everyone's healthy and safe here at the moment, so that's all I can ask for.
Too right, mate. So since your couple of defeats to Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, you've had 3 stoppage wins over Alexander Flores, Alex Leopai and Shondell Winters, and it looked to me like you had been working on some aggression. Some things are working, some weren't so much, particularly in the Shondell Winters fight. But there's been a lot of criticism from fans that maybe you don't have enough aggression in you, or there's not enough dog in you. Is there anything that you're doing to try and increase your aggression levels?
Yeah, with the fights that I've had, I've been very good at moving, very good at, with defense, but I haven't been the aggressor. And I think with these fights that are coming up, or the fights, the 3 that I just had, and future fights, I want to be more aggressive. I want to throw more punches, and I want to take more risks. And I feel like I should be able to do that. And if I do that, then I can get the better results. You don't win fights by just being defensive. So I think that's something that I've changed, with these last fights that I've had.
So these days, there seems to be a lot more emphasis on an up-and-coming fighter holding on to their O, whereas a fighter taking a loss seems to learn a hell of a lot more through one loss than what they could do in 20 or 30 fights knocking over tomato cans. So was it the fights against Joshua and White that kind of gave you the idea that you needed to be more aggressive and not so boxer and defensively minded?
Yeah, I from there, exactly what you said. From those fights, I took out that I should be the aggressor and I should put the pressure on. I know I can put the pressure on, and I know that if I let my hands go and they land in the right place at the right time, I can knock anyone out. And I guess with the Dillian Whyte fight more so, he was very aggressive, and he just used his body weight, used everything, all the tactics in the books to get the win. So from that fight in particular, I feel like I need to be more aggressive, and I think I have shown that with the 3 fights. It hasn't been like the top opponents, but I've shown that I can change and I can be more aggressive.
So like I was saying at the start of this video, New Zealand and Australia are both doing pretty well with COVID-19, and it's certainly a possibility that not too far down the track we could open our borders to each other, and maybe we could get some boxing happening with crowds as per normal. Now there's talk of yourself and Lucas Brown or Dempsey McKean having a fight. Are those the type of fights you're interested in, or are you more interested in fights against UK or US opponents to get better publicity?
Yeah, I have an interest in any fight, and what I would like to do would be fight someone that's in the UK or the US. But like you mentioned, with everything that's happening with COVID-19, there are a lot of restrictions. So when you look at this side of the world, the best fighter or the person who's probably fought the best names would be Lucas Brown. I haven't really seen a lot of Dempsey McKinnon, but I'll probably do a little bit more research on him. But with Lucas Brown, he's still a dangerous fighter. He's only had 2 losses. He had a good fight against Dillian White, and he was the champion of the world. So, like I said, I think our team's in discussions with their team and other teams, but whoever wants it can get it.
So it certainly sounds like it's a bit of a competition between Dempsey McKean and Lucas Brown. I advise you do some research on Dempsey McKean. He's young 6'6" southpaw who has a regional title. He's unbeaten and he has rankings, whereas Lucas Brown does not. However, Lucas Brown does have that experience. But what do you think it is that makes you favour Lucas Brown over Dempsey McKean?
Yeah, he's come off 2 losses, and so I still think the last thing that the person or a heavyweight or I think a fighter loses is their power. So he still possesses that power to knock you out if he catches you. In saying that, I believe that I'm a better fighter and a better boxer. And if it's the only fight that's available on this side of the world, we would have to look at the best person or the best fighter, which we think would be Lucas Brown.
So would it be fair to say that there's an element of a potential statement being made against Lucas Brown rather than Dempsey McKean? As we've seen, he's been stopped a couple of times, and you think you could do the same?
Oh, yeah, Lucas is a nice guy, but if he wants to jump in the ring with me and test himself, my goal is to knock him out clean. And I want to knock him out faster than Dillian White. I want to knock him out cold, and hopefully with that, I can put him into retirement.
Okay, man. So, a couple more questions before we go. If you could have any 2 fights right now, who would you pick?
Yeah, the fight I would like to pick would be AJ because he has the belts. The other fight I'd like to have would be Dillian White because I lost to him and he's got a big mouth. And another fight, would be with Fury, he's mentioned it many times that he has about 3 or 4 fights left in his career, and I'm not one of them. So we are close friends, but he's I'm not one of those fights that he wants. So I'll chase the other belts.
So you'd won your WBO title in a match against Andy Ruiz. Was very close. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch of that one actually. But then Andy Ruiz got an opportunity to fight for 3 belts, including your old one, and he beat Anthony Joshua with pure aggression. Did that make you think, maybe if I had a fought like that, I could have taken those belts?
Yeah, the fight that I had with Ruiz, it was a blessing to win. Obviously, I was the champion of the world. It wasn't the best camp, so I reckon if I had a better camp, I would have been able to stop him or knock him out. But seeing him win against AJ in New York was firstly, the way that he won was a surprise. And then from there, I wanted to fight him straight away so I could get a chance to win the straps again. I feel like there's unfinished business. I feel like we should have a rematch, and a lot of things will be different, with a different ref, with me being a more mature fighter and putting on more pressure and throwing more punches. There's no excuses. He was a better man on that day, but if we do have a rematch, I would love to show everyone the difference in my ability and what I can do.
Okay, man. So when do you expect that the fans are going to be able to hear something about this potential next fight?
Yeah, it'll be, at the moment, I have no idea. I'm just training and the team will take care of it. But it should be, hopefully, they're in discussions with a few other teams. There's Lucas, there's Dempsey, and there's a few others. So hopefully sometime this year, August, September, we can get a fight in. Sooner the better. I'm ready to go.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much for your time and best of luck for the future.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Subscribe to Kiwi Box.
That's the one.
Yeah.